You read the title, so let's just get into it. My top 10 albums of all time. Quick disclaimer, this is my own opinion. If you disagree, feel free to comment down why.
Fucking fatty, get the fuck off.
I can't do this list without talking about some of the honorable mentions that aren't on the list. Animals by Pink Floyd, Oko Tokachi no Wakare by Fishmans, and Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol. Now that's over, let's move on to the actual list. I remember when I first listened to this album, I had mixed opinions because it was something new that I've heard. I've never heard anything like this before. It's just a very groovy record overall. It's just so enjoyable. I love it. My favorite tracks on it is Listening Wind and The Overload. I really recommend it to anyone who wants to try this out. In my opinion, this is the greatest post-punk album of all time. It's just, I've listened to this album so many times, it's better each time I listen to it. Closer was also good, but not as good as this. My favorite tracks were New Dawn Fades and Day of the Lords. Again, I really recommend you listen to it. Rest in peace, Ian Curtis.
All downhill from here.
I've had this album on repeat so many times. Just so catchy, the production is amazing. The way it was written is cool too. And what I think is really interesting about the album is that all the music videos have a story. As good as this album is, that just makes it better. Again, for all the albums, I recommend it. Telling by my profile picture, you probably saw this one coming. I'm not going to go too into detail on why I like it, since I made a video earlier talking about why. Basically, I just like the sound of it, the complexity, and the math. Also, just want to say this cover art looks really cool. Looks very trippy. Next. This album is just beautiful. Like, really, it's really beautiful. And for the longest time, I had this at my second favorite album of all time. But I eventually knocked it down since, after listening to this and to the albums coming ahead, I realized it just wasn't as good as them. But still, amazing. The fact this isn't even my favorite Pink Floyd album just surprises me. Well, what is there about The Wall to say that hasn't already been said already? It's just fantastic in almost every way possible. And if you know about The Wall, then you should know about the story already. Yeah, it's amazing. First off, I just want to say that exit music for a film is one of the greatest songs of all time. Radiohead's my favorite band of all time, and this actually isn't my favorite Radiohead record. We're gonna get to that next. I think the album's flow is unmatched, production is insane, and Thom Yorke's just a brilliant songwriter. But I think there's one more Radiohead album that did it better. When I first listened to this album, I didn't really understand it. It was too weird for me. But then as time went on, I started gravitating to the album more and started appreciating the little details that went into this album. And, as we all know, Kid A is the greatest left turn in music history. Alright, on to the next.
So you think you can tell everything?
Personally, this is my favorite Pink Floyd album. Wish You Were Here. It's one of those albums that just never gets old, no matter times to listen to it. Everything is perfect about it. Everything. I love it. Shine On You Crazy Diamond is a musical masterpiece. Up there with Echoes, their best song in my opinion. Now for the number one spot. My favorite album of all time. It's, I don't know what to say. Words cannot describe how much I love this album. The topics on the album are just amazing. Greg Leg's vocals are insane, and the riffs and instrumentals are nuts. Oh, well, that was the video. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this, or if you just skipped through to see what placements there were. Either way, thanks. I'll be linking everything I use down below, and comment your top 10 albums of all time, or at least top 5. I'm really interested to know. Alright, bye.